Today, unfortunately, the most prominent forms of Christianity, those featured on the largest stages and platforms that draw the large congregations of renowned figures, have devolved into really hollow versions of the faith. This form of ear-tickling Christianity, built on superficial experiences and promises of prosperity, overshadows the gospel's transformative power. As a result, many are left with a fragile faith, and they are ill-prepared to face adversity. During our time together this weekend, you're going to hear about the origins of the charismatic movement, some which will begin with the Montanists in the 2nd century who believed in the prophetic gifts and ecstatic utterances. Others, like myself, will just walk you through a brief glimpse of history, which for many charismatics actually begins on April 9th, 1906, with the Azusa Street Revival. This marked the birth of Pentecostalism, with speaking in tongues and healings and other supernatural experiences taking center stage. By 1910, you had classical Pentecostalism. From here, you witnessed the emergence of different denominations. For example, the Assemblies of God, which was founded in 1914, and the Church of God in Christ, which actually marks its origins in the late 1800s, but actually gained prominence after the Azusa Street outpouring, if you will. By 1940s through the 1950s, you had healing revivals and the Latter-day Rain movement with leaders like Oral Roberts and William Branham, who emphasized miraculous healings, leading to a surge in televangelism. By the 60s and 70s, you had the charismatic renewal and experience of charismatic gifts. They would actually spread from small circles of Pentecostals into mainline denominationalism, affecting the Episcopalians and even Catholics, to name a few. You had the third wave, known as the third wave by the 1980s, under the leadership of men like John Wimber. This man was the founder of what's known as the Vineyard Movement. This movement strongly emphasized miraculous signs and what they called power evangelism, frequently overshadowing biblical doctrine. And then finally, you have the neo-charismatics, or the neo-charismatic movement of today that began in the 90s with men like T.D. Jakes and Bill Johnson and Joel Osteen, who promote a mystical, experiential type of worship, but primarily focus on a prosperity-driven message with emotionalism replacing sound theology. The influences of men like my former pastor, Bishop Carlton Pearson, he had mass appeal. His departure from orthodoxy created a void that several leaders filled. Now you have the names of men like Isaiah Saldivar and Alexander Pagani, who focus on demon possession and attribute everyday struggles to demonic influence. You've perhaps witnessed some of the antics of men like Todd White and Benny Hinn, who promote physical healing without verifiable results, often placing the burden of healing on the faith of the person receiving the prayer.